After 88 years, Snow White has finally been fixed. The golden girl who built the House of Mouse is no longer a girl. She's a woman, and her destiny is to lead Disney into the 21st century. No prince is coming to save Snow White this time. The dwarfs? They can stop digging and go do the dishes. The old lady? She's out. Instead, we get Gal Gadot's Evil Queen, complete with glass-shattering songs and a villainous presence that looks like a mix between Sauron and a traffic cone. The new Snow White is not just a retelling, it's a complete rewrite. Every classic character, every original plot point, gone. This version follows Rachel Zegler's rules. In the original Brothers Grimm fairy tale, Snow White got her name because her skin was white as snow, but that's far too outdated for today's audience. Instead, the movie opens with a flashback, or rather, a redback. Now, Snow White's mother doesn't wish for a beautiful daughter. She wishes for a strong, virtuous queen who can lead men. Why is she still called Snow White? Because it was snowing the night she was born. Then there's the evil queen, played by Gal Gadot. In this version, she doesn't just rule with an iron fist, she sings with an iron lung. Her songs are so off-key that you might start questioning if your eardrums are still intact. In the past, being the fairest of them all meant having the fairest skin, but that's no longer the case. Now, fairest means the most just, social justice. And yet somehow the evil queen, a woman who rules like a power-hungry dictator, still manages to steal the show. Is this really the fairest of them all? Or is the mirror just broken? Enter Prince Charming, except he's neither a prince nor particularly charming. Instead of a noble hero, he's a cowardly thief who'd rather steal Snow White's necklace than her heart. He jokes about not being a knight in shining armor, but the truth is, he's more of a helmet. Does Snow White fall for him at first sight? Absolutely not. Her first instinct? Call the police. This so-called prince isn't sweeping her off her feet. He's stealing apples from the castle like a common pickpocket. What happened to the classic Prince Handsome, the one who melted hearts for 8 decades? Sorry, folks. He committed the ultimate crime. He's straight, white, and male. That kind of outdated hero doesn't belong in modern Hollywood. Saving a damsel in distress? Way too problematic. The evil queen, aka Gal Gadot's cone on the throne, quickly makes her ruling off to the dungeons, charmless charlatan. Take my apples, and I'll take your life back, street boy. But wait, the voice of reason steps in. Snow White protests, that isn't right. He just stole some apples. How do you sleep at night? And just like that, the magic mirror has a new fairest of them all, Rachel Zegler. While the Eye of Sauron scours Middle-earth for the One Ring, the magic mirror is now hunting for social justice. Snow White isn't just a princess, she's a virtue queen. Back in 1937, the queen sent out the huntsman to strike the killing blow. But times have changed. The huntsman once had the rugged presence of Javier Bardem in Dune. Now, he looks like a completely different casting choice. The original Snow White characters reflected 16th century Germany. Now, they feel more like they walked straight out of 21st century Brooklyn. And the setting, instead of a whimsical fairy tale forest, the live-action trees look straight out of Evil Dead or Middle-earth. But these Ents aren't friendly giants. Instead, they give off disturbing energy. Is this the modern fairy tale audiences wanted, or just another Hollywood misfire? They touch up Snow White like she's auditioning for a Miramax movie, but instead of gracefully navigating the enchanted forest, she tumbles through a trapdoor straight into a random swimming pool before washing up at a tiny house. Or should we say, garden gnomes? Peter Dinklage may have spoken out against dwarf stereotypes, but Disney took it to heart, so much so that these dwarfs barely even look like dwarfs. Instead, they resemble CGI extras from Shrek 3D stuck somewhere deep in the uncanny valley. Or, rather, the uncanny Grand Canyon. Watching them on screen is like seeing Peter Dinklage's reflection in the back of a spoon. They're still called the Seven Dwarfs and still have the same classic personalities, but with one key difference. They now have feelings. Grumpy? Not actually grumpy, just misunderstood. Dopey? Not the lovable fool anymore. He's got a tragic backstory fit for an X Factor sob story special. He's so insecure that he refuses to speak until Snow White gives him a pep talk, and suddenly he's whistling like he's leading the Breakfast Club into rebellion. And in one of the movie's most groundbreaking moments, sarcasm alert, We finally learn the answer to a question no one was really asking. The answer, Dopey, who looks like he just graduated from diapers, is actually 254 years old. How does this affect the plot? Not at all, but hey, at least it'll be useful for pub quizzes. Snow White's not here to clean. In the original Snow White, she stayed up all night cleaning the dwarf's filthy home, washing dishes and sweeping floors. Sure, she was a princess, but she was also a clean queen, and she had help. Cue Noah's Ark. Every animal in the kingdom pitched in to get that place sparkling. This time, Noah's keeping his animals in their cages. And Snow White, she's giving out orders. She isn't cleaning for any man, even if they're adorable CGI gnomes. Prince Charming? More like Prince. Deep in the woods, snow. White stumbles upon a Johnny. Not a Johnny. Johnny, the prince formerly known as Charming. Except, forget the dashing prince we all remember, this guy is a knockoff Robin Hood. Only, there's a twist. No merry men, no real charm, and definitely no plot relevance. Instead, the seven dwarfs lose all their screen time to this progressive pick-and-mix gang who are too busy battling the queen's soldiers in budget gladiator-style fight scenes that make you wonder if you're watching deleted footage from Gladiator 2. And just when things couldn't get more awkward, Prince Johnny breaks into a song so uninspired, you start questioning where his balls went. With classic characters rewritten, iconic moments removed, and social justice themes shoehorned in, it begs the question: a thief, a necklace, and a love story no one asked for. So he steals her necklace. This guy, who just moments ago was a skid mark in Snow White's royal eyes, suddenly redeems himself by taking an arrow for her. Because self-sacrifice always wins a woman's heart, especially when the guy has the charisma of a damp sock. One second, she looks at him like he's a dirty dish at a roadside diner. The next, true love. Because of course, women don't want perfect princes anymore. They want bad boys, with the testosterone of a choir boy. Forget love at first sight. This is love at first shti, the queen's big moment. Falls flat 88 years ago, the evil queen's transformation from stunning beauty to nightmarish crone was pure cinematic terror, a scene that haunted childhoods for generations. In 2025, she's just an old lady. No dark magic, no bone-chilling voice. Just a woman past her prime, talking like she's ordering a latte. The wishing apple scheme returns, but with a modern twist. Before, the queen lured Snow White in with the promise of a magical wish. One bite, and the prince of her dreams would come. But that's too old-fashioned for 2025. No Prince Charming, no fairy tale romance. And yet, Snow White still bites the apple, because some things never change. Even in a movie that changes everything. The apple, the nap, and the woke awakening. Snow White doesn't bite the poisoned apple because she's ready to go down. Oh no. She does it because she needs her stamina. Yes, stamina. To power through her dramatic castle rescue mission and free her chained-up lover boy. Because in modern Disney, even the poisoned apple